As I mentioned, we're going to be sharing words of Adrienne Rich, a great American poet. Our responsive reading is taken from her poem, Transcendental Etude. Would you share it with me in our responsive reading? No one ever told us we had to study our lives. Make of our lives a study, as if learning natural history or music. That we should begin with the simple exercises first, and slowly go on trying the hard ones.
Practicing till strength and accuracy become one with the daring to leap into transcendence.
And in fact, we can't live like that. We take on everything at once. Before we've even begun to read or mark time, we're forced to begin in the midst of the hardest movement.
The one already sounding as we are born.
Yes, it is a chore sometimes, isn't it, to take on the day because it comes at us while we're asleep, doesn't it? And yet here we are. My name is Fred Wooden. I'm one of the clergy here at Fountain Street Church, and I'd love welcoming you, the faces I know so well and the faces I don't know and haven't met and look forward to meeting. As I mentioned, this is our summer chapel series when we are fewer in number but mightier in heart. But the best part is that ordinarily on a hot summer day, this is one of the coolest rooms we have to offer. But it also is one of the sweetest rooms because we can see each other more up close. And I like that. That's a nice break from our wonderful, beautiful, but rather formidable sanctuary. But we'll be back there in just about 4 weeks. I do remind you that Fountain Street Church is an institution that's been around in some form for almost 150 years, testing the boundaries of faith and reason almost from its beginning. And when I mean testing the boundaries, looking for the place where we ask questions more often than where we find answers. Because in fact, wisdom always begins with a question properly posed, not an answer confidently given. So if you're here with questions, guess what? You already belong here. In fact, if you've come in the door, you're already home. This is Fountain Street Church, where we seek to free minds and grow souls and to change the world. You're already at work doing that in that transcendental etude we call life. So we welcome you here to the symphony of souls that is Fountain Street Church. I'm going to share a few words, again, to collect our wits. How many of you have ever found your wits collected? Mine are usually fairly scattered. But sometimes going in search of them means you find other things along the way. And so I'd like to give you some poetry from ancient and modern times and a few sacred sources as a prelude to Jeremy's work. Jeremy Arndt is our guest voice, and I mean his physical voice, but his musical voice. And as you can tell, he has an assortment of objects here that he uses to express the things important to him. You're going to go on a journey with him today, and that means you have to trust him. And none of us know where we're going to end up. But I'm pretty sure at the end of it, we'll be glad we have gone. To prepare you for that, I'm going to give you some words, like I said. This morning, or shall we say this weekend, in the Jewish tradition, this passage from Isaiah was read aloud. You may recognize it. It's from Isaiah 40, in which it reads, "A voice rings out, clear the desert, a road for God. Level the wilderness as a highway for the Holy One. Let every valley be raised, every hill and mountain be made low. Let the rugged ground become level and the ridges become a plain." I can't read that without thinking of Handel's music that goes with that. In Christian churches, this fragment from a longer passage comes out of Matthew. "And early in the morning, Jesus came walking toward them on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying, 'It's a ghost!' And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, 'Take heart, do not be afraid.'" Two emotions expressed in those readings, one of exultation and hope that change would come and the hardness of life would be made easy. Hope even confidence in Isaiah, and then fear in Matthew. Take heart. What a great phrase it is to say, to take heart, as though somehow our hearts can help us when we're afraid. I don't know about you, but when I'm afraid, my heart's beating like crazy. So what does it mean to take heart? I'm not sure. But a few other readings, a couple of passages, might give you some paths to explore. From Po Chu-yi, a Chinese philosopher of the 8th century, he says, "Those who speak know nothing. Those who are silent know." Those words, I am told, were spoken by Lao Tzu. If we are to believe that Lao Tzu was himself one who knew, how come it was he who wrote a book of 5,000 words? And from the Japanese poet of the 13th century and the early 14th, Musō Soseki. Sacred or secular, manners and conventions make no difference to him. Completely free, leaving it all to heaven, he seems a simpleton. No one catches a glimpse inside his mind. This old man, all by himself, between heaven and earth. As you were coming in, you were probably more quiet than you usually are, because it's always fun to chat with someone. But Jeremy's music requires a kind of quietness. However, if there were no music playing at all, you would have talked, wouldn't you? And so it took music to create silence. Sometimes it requires sound to summon your quiet. Those who do not know write books. Those who know are silent. I bid you be silent, so the music and the words can help you. Jeremy?
invite you to close your eyes during this next song. So greetings.
Hello.
Thanks for having me here at Fountain Street again. It's really good to be back. And when I was asked to speak today, there's many topics that come to mind that I could speak about. And one of the things that came to mind is, what is music? What is music for me? And before I explain what music is for me, I want to ask you just to think about, what is music for you? Maybe music for you is what you listen to on your way to work, or maybe you listen to it while you're getting ready in the morning, or you come to church and you sing every week, or, music is a lot of things for a lot of people. And so for me, music started out as just something fun for me to listen to, just like most people. And I started later in life, and I picked up a guitar to learn a song that was a favorite song of mine, and I still never learned it. But that song, or that guitar, the music, it took me on a journey, and a journey that I never could have understood, or where it would take me, or how it would take me. I still don't understand sometimes how it takes me. But, and there's a quote, and it says, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And for me, that single step was to share music. I was deathly afraid of sharing music, even with my best friends. So it was sharing that music and getting myself to a point where I could play for one person. And I left Michigan after graduating from Grand Valley, And I said, okay, when I'm traveling out to where I'm going to live, I was going to live in Utah, I said, I'm going to play for one person each day when I meet them. And so that's what I did. And then over time it grew. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And now I've traveled all over the world with music, and it's been a really amazing journey. I've been to 20 countries now in the last 5 years with music. And so music has become a lot more to me than something that I just listen to on my way to work, although I do still do that. And or it's something more than, I enjoy playing. Music to me is communication. It's a language. And as I've gone to these countries, I've gone many places where I couldn't speak the language as people, the same language as the people. And I couldn't understand what they were speaking about, but music became a way of communication. My first time leaving this country, I went to West Africa. And my first day, somebody saw that I had a guitar and invited me to come with him. I was a little scared at first. And I did, and he took me on a motorbike ride to another guitar player, and next thing I know, I'm playing music with people. And so music is something that I'm sure every culture shares. I'm not positive on that, but I think that every culture shares music. We all respond and react to music. It's sound, and where does it come from? And Fred was talking about silence. Music comes from the silence. All those are sitting there, the piano's sitting here. They don't make any noise right now. They're silent. And they come from the silence that's within us. And it's a place that we all share, and it's something that's greater than all of us. So you come and you share your spirit with the instrument, and it begins to make a noise. And then you can share your spirit with others, and together you can make a song. And so, as I've traveled with this music, it's become my way of connecting with people. And I've gone to some small villages in West Africa and in Asia, where you come to this village, and maybe to them you're just somebody passing through. You're a traveler or a tourist. And so, but when I travel, I seek to connect with people. So I'll take my instrument out, in this case the handpans, and I've gone and I'll sit in a place where people can hear it, and you start playing, and soon somebody comes over to see what it is, and next thing you know, there's a group of people around, and then I can share it. I can put that instrument out there, the handpan, and share it with others, and they can tap on it and they can play it, and it becomes something that we do together. And the great thing about this instrument, I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's a very new instrument, and it was originally created in Switzerland in 2001. So it's only of this millennium. It's the only new acoustic instrument. And the beauty of it is that anybody can play it. And so it becomes a really special instrument that I can share with people, because it's not just like I'm taking my guitar up there and playing for somebody and they're like brushing the strings or something. They can actually play and sit down, and you can play with two people on the same instrument, or you can put a bunch of hands on the same instrument, and you can play and you can communicate. And you can connect and share that moment with somebody who doesn't look the same as you. They don't act the same as you. They don't speak the same as you. They don't share traditions, the same traditions as you, and the same color of skin as you. But it shows you that we're all together. We all come from the same place, no matter what our beliefs or what we look like or anything. And it's really special that music has been my teacher for that. And I have some other instruments. The handpan's not my only passion, but the didgeridoo here, which is going to be in the song that I play next, that's a really ancient instrument. That's from the Aboriginal people of Australia, I also play some other instruments from West Africa, and I just really love sound and music. Like I said, it's a language. To me, it's not just I'm learning the guitar, just I'm learning the flute. I'm learning the language of music, and then you can take that to different instruments. So I kind of got a little bit of a passion for a lot of instruments, and so I collect these different instruments. The didgeridoo is estimated to be 50,000 years old, and it's the oldest wind instrument in the world. Some accounts even say 60,000, and some say only a couple thousand. They can't really prove it because it's wood, so it rots away and it gets destroyed.
What's the name?
Didgeridoo.
Oh, didgeridoo.
Yep. The traditional name of the instrument is yidaki. So didgeridoo is the name that the Westerners have given to the instrument. And so that instrument, for the Aboriginal people, that instrument is the sound of creation. The sound of the yidaki is the sound of creation. I play in a lot of yoga studios. Om is the sound of creation in the yoga studios. There's many cultures that have a sound in their philosophy. So we all have music. And I'm going to play another piece for you that's sort of inspired by those Aboriginal people of Australia. I call it Uluru. And Uluru is the name of a very sacred place in Australia. We Americans mostly know it as Ayers Rock. And it's a very beautiful, majestic place in the middle, in the heart of Australia. It's in the desert. And it took us 3 days to get there just driving straight. And I kind of expected a bit of a touristy place because it is very highly marketed as a tourist place. And I didn't expect that it would carry the same beauty and the same spirit that maybe it did thousands of years ago, but I was wrong. And when I got there, I was just blown away. I told my partner that I felt like I could just drive in a circle around it for the rest of my life and be totally content just because of the energy this place carried. So I try to capture a little bit of that, I guess, and share that place and the Aboriginal culture with you guys. So this will be Uluru. Thank you. So that was Uluru. And so yeah, when I've I just feel like I've been really blessed to be able to go and to share these things and to bring this music to others and to connect with others and sort of be like a bridge between those cultures. And music has really allowed me to do that. And it's really special to just have the gift of music. And so I want music to be sort of a teacher for people, that we can transcend those differences between us, that we don't have to look at, you know, what each of us look like, or how each of us think, or how what language we speak, to think that that's what we need to communicate, that we need to be the same, or that we need to think the same, or anything. We can communicate from that place of silence that's within us, and we can be together as a community, not just the community here in Grand Rapids or the community of Michigan or in our church, but a worldwide community. You know, there's so many things that we fight about and that we argue about as human beings, but for me, the music is like the number one teacher, that we all come from the same place. And so as you go about your day, try to think about music and the expression of music within different cultures and within our own culture, and how that can be a teacher for us to be together. So, thank you. So each of those handpans has their own unique voice, unique sound. So I'll switch them so you can hear them. They're little flying saucers. Sometimes it's like they came here to teach us something. The cool thing about this too is it's a very modern instrument. So it's not tied into any particular culture. The handpan actually has roots in many different cultures. It's rooted in the steel drum of Trinidad. It's rooted in the gatam from Indonesia, from Bali specifically. So if you look at this top note here, and if you're looking down at a gatam, it's like a bunch of those, and like a sort of wrapped around you. It's rooted in the udu and the, I said gatam for the last one. I meant gamelan is the one from Indonesia, and gatam is from India. It's a clay pot drum. Also the udu from North Africa. So you get that sound here. And also, it has similar qualities to a stringed instrument too, because a lot of times people come and they say that it sounds like a harp or it sounds like a piano. And the reason is each of these notes actually has harmonics built into them, such as a string has. It's a natural property of a string. If you divide a string in half or in thirds, and you pluck it right at that, and you pluck it and silence it right at that point, you hear the harmonic. It's a higher frequency. And so you hear that on these. So that property gives it that really angelic sound. So this instrument, it's rooted in all these different cultures. It's from Switzerland of all places, which is a very neutral country, as we all know. And so this instrument, to me, it's like an instrument for our this new millennium. It's an instrument for this new time when the world is becoming more connected, when we're able to hop on a plane and we can fly across the world in less than a day. And so it's a good time to connect and to bring a new instrument that allows us to connect. So this is a song called Final Day.